passion and emotion.
Super yesterday.
Color chart is the heart of quick learning.
Fluency comes with practice.
Solo en Quick Learning, hablas o hablas.
Prepárate para llevar tu inglés al siguiente nivel, con este podcast diseñado al estilo Quick Learning. En el enlace de la página que te dejamos en la descripción, podrás acceder a contenido exclusivo creado por nuestro equipo de expertos y disfrutar de una experiencia de aprendizaje única y divertida. ¡Chécalo! No te lo puedes perder. Ahora sí, comencemos con nuestro episodio.
Hola, te doy la bienvenida una vez más a The Quick Learning Podcast. ¡Qué emoción que podamos comenzar un nuevo año juntos! En épocas de pensar nuevos objetivos y propósitos de año nuevo, muchas personas retomamos grandes planes y sueños. Así que hemos creado este episodio especial para que te pueda ser útil y que te ayude a lograr todo lo que esté en tus metas. ¡Te va a encantar! Si uno de tus objetivos de este año es conseguir el trabajo de tus sueños, en donde la entrevista es en inglés, estás escuchando el podcast adecuado. Hoy vamos a compartir contigo algunos consejos sencillos y eficaces que te ayudarán a brillar en tu próxima entrevista. Estos consejos son geniales incluso si estás empezando a ganar confianza en inglés. ¿Todo listo? ¡Comencemos!
Before we jump into the tips, let's take a moment to talk about mindset. Starting a new year is like opening a blank notebook. You can write anything you want in it. And if you're listening to this, it means you're ready to write a chapter about improving yourself and your opportunities. So, let's talk about something super common. Feeling nervous before a job interview in English. Sound familiar? Don't worry, it's completely normal, especially if you're not 100% confident in your English skills yet. But here's the thing, those nerves, they don't have to take over. Instead, focus on what you can do, your strengths, and how you can prepare to give it your best shot. And hey, we've got you covered. In this episode, we'll share a couple of tips to help you walk into that interview feeling more prepared and confident. All right, now let's get started. First things first, confidence comes from preparation. If getting a new job is part of your New Year's resolution, break it down into smaller, achievable goals. For example, instead of saying, I want a new job this year, say, by the end of March, I want to apply for 3 positions where English is required. This makes your resolution clear and actionable. And remember, consistency is key. Spend just 15 to 20 minutes each day practicing your English. It could be reviewing vocabulary, practicing common interview phrases, or even listening to podcasts like this one. These small steps will add up and make a big difference over time. Also, keep a journal or planner to track your progress. For example, did you know that if you are a quick learning student, you can check your tracking on the online or virtual platform? This is very useful to have hard data. Write down what you practiced, what you learned, and what you feel more confident about. Seeing your progress written down either on paper or in an app on your cell phone can be incredibly motivating. Now, let's talk about your CV or resume. Think of it as your personal marketing tool, your chance to make a great first impression. Here are some detailed tips. The first one is to use action verbs. These are words that show what you did in your previous jobs. For example, instead of saying, I was responsible for managing a team, say, managed a team of 5 and improved productivity by 20%. Action verbs like organized, developed, achieved, and coordinated make your CV sound professional and dynamic. Another one is to focus on results. Employers love to see what you've accomplished. Include numbers or specific examples if you can. For instance, you can write something like increased sales by 15% in 6 months, or designed a training program that reduced employee onboarding time by 30%. Another tip is to tailor your CV to the job. Look at the job description and use similar language in your CV. If the job requires someone with strong organizational skills, highlight your experience organizing projects or events. You can keep it clear and concise. That means that you use bullet points and short sentences. Avoid long paragraphs. Recruiters often spend less than a minute reviewing a CV, so make it easy for them to find the most important information. Finally, double-check for grammar and spelling mistakes. Even a small error can leave a bad impression, so take your time to review it or ask someone you trust to proofread it for you. Alright, now that your CV is ready, let's move on to the interview itself. Job interviews can be nerve-wracking, but with preparation, you can feel much more confident. Keep in mind that you are being evaluated on more than just your level of English, your language skills, your experience, your attitude, and your ability to adapt. Don't worry so much about having a perfect level of English. You will achieve that the more you practice and the more classes you take. What really matters in these cases is your ability to communicate clearly and effectively. So let's go over some common questions and how to answer them. Tell me about yourself. This question is your chance to make a strong first impression. Keep your answers short and relevant. Talk about your current job, your experience, and what you're looking for. For example, I'm a marketing specialist with 3 years of experience. I enjoy working on creative campaigns, and I'm looking for an opportunity to grow in a dynamic team. Why do you want this job? Show that you've done your research. Mention something specific about the company or role that excites you. For example, I admire your company's commitment to innovation, and I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to your projects. What are your strengths? Pick 2 or 3 skills and back them up with examples. For example, I'm very organized and I have strong communication skills. In my previous role, I organized weekly team meetings and improved collaboration. What are your weaknesses? This can be tricky, but the key is to be honest while showing you're working on it. For example, sometimes I focus too much on small details, but I've been learning to prioritize tasks better. Here's a secret. The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel. Find a friend, family member, or even a mirror and practice answering these questions. If you can, record yourself and listen back. This will help you notice things like your tone, speed, and pronunciation. You can also try mock interviews. There are apps and websites where you can simulate an interview environment. It's a great way to practice under a little bit of pressure. And don't forget to practice nonverbal communication too. Smile, make eye contact, and use positive body language. These small things can make a big difference. Now, I will give you some quick but very effective tips on what to do in case you feel very nervous at the time of your interview in English. If you do not understand a question or part of the conversation, it is completely acceptable to ask for repetition or clarification. You can use phrases such as, "I'm sorry, could you please repeat the question? Could you explain that a bit more? I didn't quite catch that, could you rephrase it?" This shows that you care about giving a proper answer and that you are committed to fully understanding what is being asked, so don't be afraid to ask. Remember that you don't have to speak quickly to impress. On the contrary, speaking slowly will help you organize your thoughts better and articulate your answers more clearly. Even if you can't find an exact word, you can use synonyms or give a simpler explanation of what you want to say. Something we sometimes forget is that everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. If you make a mistake, don't hold back or get nervous. Interviewers are usually more interested in how you handle the situation than in minor mistakes. If you make a mistake, you can correct it or move on without worrying too much. Now, let's talk about the end of the interview. When the interviewer asks, "Do you have any questions for me?" Always have something prepared. This shows that you're engaged and interested in the role. For example, you can say things like, "What do you enjoy most about working here? Can you tell me more about the team I'd be working with? What are the next steps in the hiring process?" These questions not only give you useful information, but also leave a positive impression on the interviewer. Always keep in mind that you have skills and experience that make you suitable for the position, and your ability to communicate in English does not define your professional value. If you prepare well, you can demonstrate your ability to learn and adapt. Interviewers value people who are open-minded and willing to improve. It doesn't matter if you are afraid, it's normal, but dare to have the job of your dreams.
Y ahí los tienes. Este tipo de consejos siempre vienen bien al inicio del año, ¿verdad? Si este episodio te ha sido de utilidad, compártelo con un amigo que también esté preparando entrevistas. Y no olvides seguir a The Quick Learning Podcast para recibir más consejos y tips que te ayudarán a alcanzar tus objetivos este año. Haz de este 2025 el año de las nuevas oportunidades y el éxito gracias al dominio del inglés. Estamos seguros de que podrás lograrlo. Gracias por escucharnos en este episodio. Hasta la próxima semana.
Recuerda visitar el enlace de la descripción para encontrar material exclusivo que te servirá para continuar practicando. Aprender inglés nunca fue tan único. Si tú ya conoces nuestras clases, te estarás preguntando, ¿y el color chart? Buenas noticias. En el enlace también podrás mejorar tu pronunciación haciendo uso de esta gran herramienta. Y si aún no lo conoces, te contamos. El color chart es nuestra herramienta de uso continuo favorita para lograr una excelente pronunciación, ya que en el inglés hay sonidos que no existen en español. Conócelo y hazlo parte de tu día a día. En Quick Learning siempre estamos buscando nuevas y divertidas formas para que tu experiencia hablando inglés sea la mejor. Ya lo sabes, solo en Quick Learning, ¿hablas o hablas?
Passion and emotion.
Super yesterday. Color chart is the heart of quick learning.
Fluency comes with practice.
Solo en Quick Learning, hablas o hablas.